Hey you guys, it's Kaylee. I am back with another thrift haul. In today's thrift haul, I'm going to be sharing items that I got at a Goodwill store opening. Now, if you guys have never been to a Goodwill store opening, they can be very profitable places because usually whenever there is a Goodwill opening, all of the stores around Goodwill pull all of the great items and they put them into the store that's opening. So they hold back all the good stuff basically to make for a really good Goodwill opening. Man, that was a tongue twister. But anyways, they can be one of my favorite places to go because I can get a ton of stuff in a short amount of time. Those are the items that I'm going to be sharing with you today. I think we went in, it is not the most I've ever gotten at a Goodwill opening. The most I've gotten has been well over 100 items. This particular day, we only got about 60, but it all happened within an hour, which was pretty awesome. Okay, the first item, I do have some bolos, I have some bread and butter, I have some style-based stuff, so you guys are in for a pretty good haul here. This first one is by Levi's. A couple of things I ran and got at Salvation Army. This is one of them. This is a Levi's Y2K style corduroy midi length dress. Longer length bib overall dresses and overalls in general are a great category to look for. And something that I thought was really interesting was this Levi's actually had a lemon tag. I don't know what that's about. I'm going to use the keyword Y2K with this. Bibs, overalls, corduroy, obviously in the title as well. And I think I was going to list this for around $35 to $40. All right, some of the Goodwill opening ones. This is a style-based piece. This is not a brand I would memorize, but this is a very cool Y2K style dress. It has the baby doll empire waist here. It has dark lacy details and it has almost like a square neck look to it. Very short baby doll here, which is actually very trendy. The only thing that this doesn't have going for it is it is not longer length, but I have sold shorter ones like this in the past that I've done well. I'll probably list this one for about 40. I also took advantage of picking up some longer length coats. You guys know I've been loving picking up longer length coats. This one is a vintage herringbone. I'll show you the pattern in just a minute. Dressy, long length women's vintage coat. This screams very old money, even possibly like academia, but has a lot of great features to it. That has a contrast velvet collar. One of the main reasons I got it. Very on trend right now. The brand is on the inside here. I've never heard of it before, called Projections, but really excellent condition, very heavy duty coat with a beautiful herringbone pattern. I paid about $13 for this, and I am gonna list this probably pretty high. I would say somewhere between $50 and $100 probably. This is another beautiful vintage piece with a really nice style-based aesthetic. This is by Jennifer Reed. I mostly looked at this one because it was knitted by hand. This is a really nice cottage core sweater. I love these little details here. So cute, like button-up sides, really nice shape to it. It's definitely going to use beachy, cottage core, probably even Y2K with this and hand knit as well. I'm going to list this for about $30 to $35. This is another style-based pickup. This is the brand Chico's, which I hardly ever get anymore. If you guys remember the Chico's deep dive I did recently, I pretty much said we're not picking up hardly anything Chico's anymore unless it's a really substantial piece. This one I got more for a style-based pickup. This is real suede leather and it has fringe sleeves. This screams very Western, very festival, Southwestern. I could see this going in so many different ways. Hippie, 70s, but real suede leather jacket with fringe really makes it stand out. There aren't a whole lot of leather jackets with fringe, which is the main reason that I grabbed this one. It also has some really nice stitching details too. I think I was going to list this one for around $50. This is another corduroy piece, and corduroy during this time of the year really increases both sell-through rate and ASP. This is a women's LL Bean corduroy shirt. You could maybe even say this is a shirt jacket, but even just their corduroy shirts have over 100% sell-through rate in LL Bean. An excellent item to be on the lookout for in the brand LL Bean in both women's and men's. I can usually sell them for $30 to $35 pre-owned in the women's department. This is a brand that I normally only get in plus sizes. It's Just and Jane. This one is just a size large. However, I am going to drop the price of this one at $25 to get it to sell more quickly. It is a very artsy kind of brand. So I'm just going to list this one for $25, test out the size larges, and see how it goes. All right, Joe actually found a lot of cool vintage and Y2K shirts while we were there. Some of them he kept, some of them he's going to let me sell. But this is a Y2K style Offspring shirt. And I think I was going to list this. These exact ones have regularly sold for about $40 to $50. So that's what I'm going to price this one for. Okay, this brand in like cardigans, in plus size pieces perform extremely well for us. It is Cuddle Duds. I come across this brand pretty often, but not normally in plus sizes. So I always keep my eye out for the plus sizes in the more substantial pieces. This one is a button-up shacket style, and I am going to try selling this between $30 and $40. We've been selling them for that much in the past. I'm surprised at how much we're able to push the market with that brand, but it does have to be plus size and a more substantial piece like a hooded cardigan. Okay, this one's another style-based pickup. This is by Coldwater Creek. This is a very fairy-inspired skirt, longer length. You can see the beautiful dark florals on it and purple. Purple is an extremely popular color right now, so that is the main reason that I grabbed this one. I think I'm going to list that for about $30 to $35. Okay, next up, this is a really great vintage piece as well. This is like a Y2K by My Michelle. And this one screams Y2K whimsy goth style. So I think this is the front. It's like a square neck front. And then the back has this very sheer, beautiful detail, almost like it capes over the back. Full length velvet gown, very witchy, very whimsy goth. I could even do fairy grunge, but velvet and the younger style looking dresses, extremely trendy right now. I'm actually going to probably list this one for about $70. This is an anticipation more for spring. I actually got a couple of spring pieces that are hidden back there in our little spring bucket that didn't make it to this video. But I did get a lot of cool spring stuff. This one we're going to list is Title IX. Women's Title IX dresses have always performed well for me, and they usually sell between $30 and $40. And the main reason we're going to go ahead and list this one is because it is a longer length sleeve. It is a little past knee length, and it is darker colors, so I still think it is seasonally appropriate. This brand Title IX is a very athletic wear, Tennessee kind of brand, and it always performs well. Okay, this is the brand Extreme Couture. I think this brand might be a diffusion line of Affliction. Pretty good comps on this one. This should go for $25. This one's very on trend with style. This is a Y2K label. I would not memorize this brand, but just the style. Longer length with the darker purples and shiny sequiny details. I am going to list this one for between $30 and $40 and include the keywords fairy with this one. Another very on trend piece. All right, this is some bread and butter. This is Banana Republic. It is a men's size extra large, really nice wool sweater, and it has Fair Isle details to it. I'm just going to list this one probably between $30 and $35. Okay, we have some more Affliction type pieces. This one actually is Affliction. This is a men's Affliction thermal shirt. Really cool grungy details. I usually don't price Affliction higher than $25, but it does move for me every single time. I think I'm actually going to price this one up probably $30 to $35 because it's a thermal shirt. All right, we have a couple Y2K 2000 style shirts. This is a DC Comics shirt, and it's got the like twofer style. So it's got the long sleeve underneath attached. So it is a very Y2K style. Probably just going to list these for $25 to $30. They do tend to flip very quickly for me when they have this long sleeve underneath style. And then this one is really cool as well. This is a brand I've never heard of. I'm not even really sure what it says, but great butter flip for the Y2K style. This is another Affliction shirt. This one I'm just going to list for $25. This is a plus size brand that performs pretty well for me. It is Jane and Delancey. This one is a size 1X. It is a thermally top. I'm going to use the keywords probably tennis and preppy with this because this gives me very much those vibes. I'm going to list that for $25. This is kind of a cool vintage shirt. I'm not familiar with this brand. Joe told me it's called Married with Children. This is like a 2000s shirt and it has some pretty cool graphics on it. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to list this for yet, but I am going to use the keyword ringer with this one. That's what this ringer style t-shirt is. All right, anytime I see an interesting camo, I always have to look it up. This is by the brand True Leaf, not a brand I'm very familiar with, but this did look like a very rare print camo. I can't remember what the exact style of the print is, but I saw a couple comps going for $40 for this exact shirt, so that's about what we're going to list this for. We have another kind of Fair Isle sweater. This is Northern Reflections. This one's just like a factor stacking piece. It is a cardigan, a little bit thicker. It has some cool cable knit details, raised texture, and a lot of Fair Isle details. I can usually sell sweaters like this very consistently between $30 and $40. That's about what I'll price this one for. Okay, here is another velvet piece. This is Lauren Ralph Lauren. This is a gorgeous tunic length velvet purple, again with purple tunic top. Velvet being very on trend, and even if you can't find velvet in a younger style, velvet in a more mature style or a more mature brand like Lauren Ralph Lauren can still be marketed for holidays. A lot of people like velvet for the holidays. I think I'm going to list that one up a little bit higher, between 30 and 35. Next up, this is another brand that performs well in larger sizes, and it's pretty pricey retail-wise. It's John Mark. I have never tried to sell this, to my knowledge, in smaller sizes. This is a size small, so I'm testing it out and seeing if it will sell. I'm pairing it with a really great style. This is a patchwork button-up tunic top with roll top sleeves. I think I'm going to price that competitively at $25. Next up, a brand I like getting in plus sizes. This is J. Jill. This is their Wherever collection in a size 2X. Really nice florally top. Gonna list that for $25. Okay, now we're getting into some of the higher end bolos that I found. This is a great brand to be on the lookout for in sweaters. It is called Eagle's Eye. They make novelty print sweaters. This one is really cool. Look at this. When we're talking novelty sweaters, this is like the exact stuff you want, really standout stuff. This is a Texas sweater. Cactuses, it has cows. There is the Texas logo on the back. So cool. It's got stuff all over it, cowboy boots. It is pretty awesome. Probably one of my favorite pieces that I found in a while. And it also has this button add-on collar type thing that looks like a bandana. I saw several of these that had sold for around $75. So that is where we are going to price this one at. Okay, next up, this is a style-based piece by the brand Circa 2000. It does look Y2K. This is like a little slip top. I am going to put it in the tops category. It has very high slits. I could see this going very romantic goth or fairy grunge. Even if it is lingerie, if I could see somebody wearing it out in public, we absolutely get it. This is a very striking on-trend piece. We could also put whimsy goth in this title. This one is so stunning. I'm going to price this one up closer to $40. All right, I have really good luck with Duluth larger sizes. This is a women's plus size 3X. It is a linen blend full button tunic top, and I think I was going to list this one for around $25 to $30. We have a men's Harley Davidson shirt. I pretty much steer clear of Harley Davidson men's t-shirts, although I still have yet to find the 3D emblem. If I find the 3D emblem, like, I'll hang up my hat on Harley Davidson, period. So I've still never found one of those, but their t-shirts in general do not perform well. They used to be bolos, they're not anymore. So I just don't really even look at those. But anything outside of that, a jacket, a sweater, a button-up shirt like I have here, those do perform well for me. So this is a Harley men's extra large, kind of garage style full button shirt with the spell out in the back. I can usually sell these between 30 and 40. Here's another cool vintage t-shirt. This one has some all over deer sunset graphics that go all the way through to the back. Really cool shirt. I usually list these close to $40. Lastly, we have a Y2K Hollister tank top. This one's a little outside of the norm of what I normally get. So we're just kind of doing a test out on this because this piece is very frilly and outside of the norm of what I get for Y2K tank tops. However, these longer length, super fitted tank tops in Hollister have been performing well for me. So again, I'm only going to list this for 25 bucks. Here is another Y2K piece. This is American Eagle Outfitters. This one actually might be 90s. Not sure if they made stuff in the 90s. I think they probably did. This is a little like tennis core preppy varsity looking top. I'll include those keywords in it. I'm going to list this for 25. Here is another vintage Y2K. This is Poof. I've actually had some pretty good luck in selling this brand if it's Y2K. Here is again with the super fitted longer length tank top. And this one actually had some additional details that I think is going to help to increase the value. I think I'm going to list this for around 30. Believe it or not, we got another pretty plain but Y2K lace trim tank top. I've been selling these for 25 to 30, so I'm going to continue picking them up. This is just Old Navy. It's a size large, again with the lace trim, but it is purple, super longer length and fitted. So that is the main reason we grabbed this one. All right, we have a plus size top. This is CJ Banks size 2X, full button. I have pretty good luck with this brand if it is a button up and it is a more substantial piece in plus sizes. We're going to list that for 25. This is a Lucky Brand size 1X top. I still like picking up Lucky Brand in plus sizes if they are a little bit more substantial. I only list them for about $20 to $25. So that's what we'll list this one for. Another plus size piece. This is Rose and Olive, one of my favorite plus size brands to get. This is a size 1X. It does have the tank top underneath for the sheer detail. I'm going to list that for 25. Another plus size. This is Croft and Barrow. This is a size 1X. These dark floral pattern plus size tops in this brand have been performing really well for me. They've got to have this dark floral print and they've been selling for 25. Another brand I like getting in plus sizes, this is Zach and Rachel. It is a size 1X. These ones have a bird print all over. I'm going to list it for 25. This is a Calvin Klein dressier coat. This one's a size 14. It's got that boiled wool to it. Really nice color. I'm going to list this for 50 to 60. The pea coats in this brand, depending on all the factors, can perform really well. I just realized, are we missing a tote? No, but I think some of my better finds, which were a couple of vintage t-shirts, like Joe found a vintage Van Halen t-shirt. There was a couple other really cool front and back graphics, but I think those had to get washed, so I unfortunately don't have them to show you today, but honestly, those were probably our best finds, were some of the vintage t-shirts that he found. I'll try and include them in a different haul once they come back from being washed to show you guys, but yeah, he found a vintage 90s Van Halen t-shirt, single stitch, really, really cool. All right, finishing up with some of our more modern stuff here. This is a North Face women's jacket. I paid up for this. I paid $14. I forget the specific style of this, but this was going for about $75, I believe. It has a fur hood. Fur hoods are always an indicator to me that it might be worth looking up. This is a very heavy duty North Face jacket with lots of stuff going for it. This is one of my favorite brands to get in shoes. They're a comfort brand called Naot. These are a pair of mules, and these do look kind of like more Y2K. Clog style mules, really nice leather. These usually sell between 35 and 40 for me. This next one is a brand I'm not familiar with. It's called Double H. Kind of like a westerny boot brand. They did have a pretty good sell rate. The main reason I got these is because they're really nice leather and they kind of have that punky style platform heel look to them. So that's how I'm going to market them. And they're a pair of Chelsea boots. I think I'm just going to list these for around 40. I also found a pair of Rothy's in really excellent condition. I think we're going to list those for 40 to 50. And lastly are a pair of Everlane women's sock boots. I think these might have been called a glove boot, but the style in general is called a sock boot. Everlane shoes have always performed really well for me. Pretty much nothing in their clothing does, but some of their shoes, especially their more like capsule looking shoes, perform well. So I grabbed this one. I think these were going for about 50 to 60, and these are in excellent condition. All right, guys, we also got probably 10 dresses that we're holding for spring. I'm not going to pull those out and show you because I can see we already are having a longer thrift haul. Didn't get to show you some of the vintage t-shirts we got, but overall was a very, very good day sourcing. And like I said, was able to get a lot of items in a short amount of time. If you guys have never been to a Goodwill opening, highly recommend checking them out in your area. Some of them you can come out with hundreds of items. Some of them are more like this one where you're finding more bread and butter stuff and you come out with 50 to 60 items. It's awesome to find that many items within such a short period of time. So check out Goodwill openings in your area. All right, guys, so that's it for today's thrift haul. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.